It's Movie Time is brought to you by the Gateway Film Center, 1550 North High Street, Columbus, Ohio. For their details and showtimes online at gatewayfilmcenter.com.
The award-winning It's Movie Time is produced by John DeSando. Listen to the shows and read reviews online at WCBE.org.
I'm John DeSando.
And I'm Linda Baas McClelland.
And this is
It's Movie Time.
You're talking about Tom Hardy, and you want to talk about Mad Max? Is that the Hardy you want to talk about?
No, I want to talk about Thomas Hardy, the English novelist.
Oh!
Far from the madding crowd.
Oh, wonderful. Then now I'm feeling much better. So, 19th century novelist Thomas Hardy, famous for his gutsy heroines, and I'm thinking specifically of Tess the D'Urbervilles. Now we have Bathsheba in Far from the Madding Crowd. Am I correct in saying she's some kind of a proto-feminist?
Oh, yeah. The whole movie is about even a strong, independent, intelligent woman can make very bad decisions when it comes to men.
Oh, that's Hardy. I mean, fate buffets his heroines, and their own nature mixes things up so that this bright lady, played by Carey Mulligan, would you say that was a good choice?
Oh, she's perfect, I think. She's not a great beauty, but she has a face that is so changeable, if that's a good word. But it's so fresh and expressive. She can look shrewd one moment and then fragile in the next scene. So I think she's a perfect choice.
Yeah, and you know, Julie Christie played the original in the 1970s adaptation.
I think she would be almost too beautiful to be playing that strong role.
You know, I'll accept that criticism. I think that probably would be the one negative about that. Mulligan has more of a farm girl look to her, and I believe the greatest smile now in movies. But anyway, she has inherited a farm, and she has several suitors.
Oh, yes.
As we could imagine, because she's a strong woman, they're attracted to her, but there's still 19th century convention.
Right.
And when she's first asked to be, she's asked 3 times. This is some kind of a four-hander here. Asked to be married by 3 men. The first one who asks her is a farmer.
Yes, Mr. Oak, the steadfast shepherd.
Yeah.
And he is kind of like the rock, her rock. He's got her back throughout the entire film. I think he really, well, you have to watch the film to find out, but he is her protector, I think.
Right, and it's wonderful. She says she's not going to marry him because she will not be some man's... She says that she won't marry him because she won't be some man's property.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's just wonderful. This is 1870.
Exactly.
But we're now in 2015, and that works for me even today to have that kind of an attitude for a woman.
Right. She's a very contemporary woman, even though this is a period costume drama.
Those
it has
costumes.
A very contemporary feel. Downton Abbey people would love this.
Oh, good one. Needless to say, Thomas Vinterberg, who is the director and was the director of one of my favorites last year, The Hunt, might have been 2 years ago, but anyway, The Hunt, has captured with his cinematographer the beauty of the Dorset countryside. Now, Wessex is what Hardy calls his neighborhood, but it really is Dorset, and I don't think it's mentioned heavily here, maybe no more than once or twice, but we do know it's there, and it was filmed in Dorset and Oxfordshire and all around that particular area of England. So, Linda, we need to book passage there.
It's breathtakingly beautiful. The sweeping vistas, and it's gorgeous. And so I love this. Back to the story.
Yeah. Did I divert you there?
Yes,
okay,
you did.
Sorry. Let's go back to the story.
And some people have said it's slightly compressed Cliff Notes version of the book, the 1874 novel. But it does include romance and murder and conflict and tension, and I think it's a good story, well told.
Oh, yeah. And look, she has 2 more suitors.
Oh, yeah.
And it's as if Hardy wanted to pick the 3 different kinds of men. Whom one has to select from. The second one, who's my favorite of the 3.
Mr. Boldwood.
Right. So you have Oak in the first one, and Mr. Boldwood. Hardy's great with names. This is played by Michael Sheen.
Oh, he was wonderful in the part.
Yeah, he's reclusive, he's a landowner, shy.
Right.
And I think she, who used to playing more bombastic parts, does a great job of making you sympathize with him. You want to hug the guy.
Oh yeah, it's a very devoted suitor of her, Bathsheba's.
But she won't have him.
Nope. And then along comes Sergeant Troy, the charming Kaddish soldier in the handsome red uniform.
Oh yes.
And is she going to be seduced by his erotic demonstration of his skill with his sword?
Oh, it is. If you don't want to see anything else, you need to see him flashing this sword and to be somewhat embarrassed at Hardy's phallic symbolism, but it's great. And Tom Sturridge plays the part. I think, I found him offensive. I think that the film does not give him enough chance to show us why she would marry him.
Right.
Why does this bright lady with these two other very fine suitors pick the sleazy suitor, notwithstanding the beautiful uniform? But the guy has the stereotypical mustache.
Oh, yeah.
He has the roving eyes.
Right.
There's a brief moment where he has a person he loves who's in the
Right.
employ.
I was going to say he has kind of a conflicted past.
Yes, he does.
And if you really think about it, why did he? I don't want to.
Right.
I don't want to give anything about the story, but why did he wind up with Bathsheba?
Yeah. Well, it's in part.
We don't want to touch it.
In part, it's easy to see that he's attracted to Bathsheba. Not only because she's an attractive woman, but also because she has wealth.
Right.
And he's a profligate. He throws money away. He gambles it. And he chases women. So, in other words, Hardy, of course, has much more time to develop a more sympathetic character.
Right.
And Terence Stamp, I think, was a much better rake in the early 70s than Sturridge is. But that's what we have. And of course, the film is going to be short on the development that Hardy has in his novel, particularly Harvey, who writes in a high-style 19th century and doesn't have any problem describing for pages one
words
thought.
Upon words upon words.
It's
upon
beautiful.
Words.
I love it. You're reading Tess. What are you thinking?
Oh my golly! I need a dictionary half the time. Well, that's not true. It's just the sentences are so long that you really kind of lose your place. Like what's going on here? To get back to the beginning of the sentence. But
they're periodic and Latinate and just hardly
beautifully written.
Oh my!
But so verbose. Is that the right word?
Yes, that's
golly.
right. Yeah.
I want to go back to. My favorite.
I keep diverting you, Lenny.
I know. I have to keep focusing. I read in Time magazine a really good quote. It said, each of her suitors represents a different kind of love.
Yes.
Which I thought was terrific. Oak is affection. That's the shepherd. Boldwood is security. And Troy is passion. And then, of course, who does she choose? But
there's another character in here, and that's 19th century convention.
Yes.
And the convention was, first of all, it was that men would rule. And so she was right. If she married, the man would rule. And when she marries, the man takes her money. And that's the way it's going to happen in the 19th century. It's very unusual for a woman to be single, perhaps as long as she was.
Right.
It's very unusual for a woman to be the head of a farm.
Right. She was so accomplished. I mean, she ran the farm all by herself. She could shoot a gun, ride a horse, as well as a man.
What did she say?
She was very accomplished.
When she was sitting in front of all of them, I'm going to astonish you.
Yes.
She says,
she was
I'm a woman and I'm going to astonish you. It's great attitude, and I think Mulligan carries it off very well. So this is a film worth seeing if you love beautiful cinematography and well-developed characters and a romantic 19th century novel atmosphere.
I think the film is delicious. It serves up a very satisfying story, even though it's compressed. And like you said, it has an extraordinary film work. And even the interior shots, I thought were really good.
Yes, they're beautiful.
Because a lot of the really important drama takes place inside and focuses on their faces as the characters are interacting.
I think it's a great date film.
But I wouldn't call it a chick flick.
No, I wouldn't. I noticed I said, right,
Yeah.
I did say date film.
Okay.
I think you're right. It is not just a chick flick. Guys could enjoy this as well as women. So, Linda Baas McClelland, The name of the film is Far from the Madding Crowd, adapted from the beautiful 19th century Thomas Hardy novel. What grade would you award this film?
I loved it. I gave it an A.
Oh, you did. Oh, well, let me see. I'm afraid I have nowhere to go but to award it an A as well. And there you go, my love for Thomas Hardy, and I think your growing love for Thomas Hardy. And a beautiful film, perhaps in the old David Lean, maybe, tradition.
Right.
But well worth seeing, and it's not Tom Hardy of Mad Max.
No. Thank goodness.